Greetings all, Vanna here for the Fire Signs weekly message. Okay, wow, something came out already. What fell down here? Oh, right. So, we have the Nine of Crystals and the Hierophant coming out for us here. And I love this because the Nine of Crystals can be walling yourself off to the rest of the world for the sake of self-protection, and that does carry through with your pre-shuffles message. But what I'm seeing with the Hangman in reverse over here is that you have not only learned something, wow, it came out, it wanted to be a part of your reading. You have not only learned something that was a generational or family curse, you have learned to overcome this. And I say this because we have literally the curse and the child in reverse coming out for Aries and Leos. Now the curse relates back to a repetition of energy. If your parents or your grandparents had a lack mentality with money, or grew up, or if you grew up in poverty and you saw your parents struggling, you inherently have a lack mentality when it comes to money, because you always saw how much they had to work for not enough. And this carried into your own mentality and relationship, not just with money, but with the world around you. How everything is just beyond your reach. How everything is just beyond your grasp. And this is a limitation and a wall that you are putting up to yourself, when in fact you are so very powerful and you have those keys to unlock that holy connection. There's a lot of things coming to my mind right now. One thing for first things first, this down here, I'm aware that it is a symbol in Christianity. I know it most from the Divinity Code movie, Angels and Demons, with Tom Hanks. And in that movie, it was a lot of people using and manipulating the church to get across their specific viewpoint, and you never really knew who was the bad guy until the very end. And I feel like something has been very similar in your life, where you've had to hang in this tree for a very long time to try and understand everything. But now that you've cut yourself out, now that you've shed that skin, for my Sagittariuses out there, you do not identify with that person who struggled with this curse growing up, who struggled with this energy, because you always saw how it was never enough. You saw how your parents would fight over money, how one person had to expend and deplete themselves for the sake of everyone else, but then that person started getting angry, and it just repeated this cycle. We have Mars, Scorpio, and the number 3 coming out. When this came out, I immediately felt like this was a family situation. The Divine Masculine being led by the most unstable of the water signs, in my personal opinion. Again, that is a personal opinion. When it comes to Scorpio energy, it is the most unstable because it is like at that middle point of volatility. And carrying over into Sagittarius's energy, if you move forward with that same volatility, when that arrow shoots, and like you've got an arrow in the Divine Masculine, when that arrow shoots and your ambitious energy carries through, it's going to land with what you sent it with. And I give you that warning as to please, 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 my love, do not put out into this world any affirmations, statements, or prayers of something you don't want. Because we do that all the time by dwelling and focusing on every little thing that has gone wrong. We're just like, wow, today I did this and I hit this with my car and now I have this taken care. I have to take care of this as well as all these other things. Well, if all you're focused on is how much you're going to be paying out, you're going to get more and more examples of that. And I'm not saying to ignore your financial responsibilities. Believe me, you can't. But like with this Nine of Crystals, he could focus on how everything is falling apart behind him, or he could lean on what is giving him stability, what is helping him stand right now. And that is a correlation to your power. What it is that you are choosing to focus on, what it is you are choosing to remember. And I feel like that's why the Child has come out in reverse, as well as Tantric Journey came out in reverse. Is because of so much of this conditioning that my fire signs went through, 555 on my timer. You just learn to inherently block all of your emotions and all of this energy that is uncomfortable to deal with or distracting to deal with. And that's why Scorpio came out. Is because it's like, you're not going to deny me any longer, especially if you want what it is you want. The frequency of the Tantric Journey helps unlock the hidden knowledge and wisdom that is intrinsically held within the state of wholeness and the complete through our sensual experiences with ourselves and another. This is the second card that mentions your sensual experiences. The other one was the bottom of the deck for your pre-shuffle, soul retrieval. Coming back to yourself, but because you have associated something about how you express yourself with something that is wrong or punishable, you don't allow that energy to flow. And the Serpent is coming out here to remind you that you have to shed your skin. At some point, you have to step down from that tree. Because what happens if a snake gets stuck shed? They get sick and it can build up and it will prevent them from growing. It can lead to infections and sores. I love reptiles, if it's not clear. You have to step out and away from what it is that has made you feel so very cursed. Even if it is just your family dynamic, because I feel like this has a lot to do with how it is you were raised and the thoughts that you carried. Were you allowed to be a child, or were you immediately parentified and held responsible for your parents' emotional well-being? Were you immediately the thing that your parents came to when they had a bad day, dumping it on you and expecting you to fix it? Or were your parents just generally disrespectful of your own wishes, your own desires? Now, I'm aware that my grandmother, when she was here, was a very angry person. And she had a lot that she was carrying, a lot of shadow. And since her passing, my mom has been able to heal that relationship with her mother and actually glean a lot of growth, healing, and learning from her experiences. One thing about my grandmother was that she was very prideful. She never wanted to accept help, even when she really, really needed it. She disconnected herself from a lot of her blessings and created a lot of her nightmares. I want to remind you, my love, that you have this power. Why do people believe in Wi-Fi and not the spirit energy connection? It's literally the same thing. Spiritual energy is just universal Wi-Fi. You give yourself that connection, the belief that you have that connection, and boom, you've unlocked the password. And that's not something someone can change on you overnight. The frequency of belief supports our sense of self-worth based on our gifts and talents with a strong connection to source. There is something beautiful about your energy and your gifts and your talents, that you create these shifts in your life. You are part of source incarnate. So please, my love, give yourself the freedom to create as you would as a child. Unlimited, unfiltered, and unbothered. Have a beautiful day.